Well, an ALTA survey is pretty much, ALTA stands for American Land Title Association, and it's basically just their standards for doing a more, not precise, but a more detailed boundary survey. When you're dealing with a piece of property that's very expensive, there is certain requirements. They want to see how the chain of title affects that property. When I say chain of title, all the encumbrances, easements, any hiatuses, gaps, overlaps, gores of the property. So basically, a title company will do research the chain of title. They will give us a title commitment, and this will show us all the documents that affect the property. Then SurvTech has to do a boundary survey at a higher precision than a normal boundary, because ALTA surveys require higher precision, and we do that in the field. And then we take and review the title policy, which is really one of the, I guess, one of the funnest things about being a land surveyor. You're really reviewing historical documents and how they affect the property, and kind of giving not a legal opinion, but you're reviewing legal documents. So it's kind of where surveying kind of crosses into the legal realm, so to speak. And then you plot all these easements and encumbrances and anything and how it affects the survey, so that when a landowner that's buying a $50 million piece of property, they don't have to get a call next week when they're going to build their mall and there's a major gas line easement going through their property. They know it's there. They can either get it moved or they can decide not to buy the property. So it's just a higher level of protection for the buyer. When you buy a home and so forth, typically there's not as many encumbrances or easements that may affect the property, and there still could be. So it's kind of buyer beware. But when you're spending that much money, you want to have a very detailed survey, and the ALTA standards have made that very regimented, or very, everybody's doing the same standards. So surveyors, when they're doing an ALTA survey, we should be all meeting the same standards. Obviously, not every surveyor is created equal, but everybody's going to interpret things a little differently. But we should all be doing, hopefully, the minimum amount of work to make an ALTA survey. Surveyors can't determine ownership, and we can't really determine what somebody owns. We can only offer our opinion of where a boundary is. So when you hire a surveyor, you're really only hiring his opinion. In fact, another surveyor may be hired tomorrow and have a totally different opinion. So if you're going to rely on a survey of a property to build something very expensive or to put up a fence, wouldn't you want to have the opinion that was correct? Because if you end up getting sued or go to court, and hopefully that doesn't happen, because I'm the type of person that thinks it's better off to work things out between each other, but if that happens, you're going to want a surveyor that's done his due diligence, that's done a quality job, that's invested the time and resources in quality people, equipment, personnel, because at the end of the day, all you have is that surveyor's opinion of that's where the boundary line is. If another surveyor comes in next door and says it's not there, it's 10 feet over, well, you're going to end up in court. And if your opinion isn't as good as their opinion, it's going to end up costing your client money. So, and don't get me wrong, no court and no surveyor are going to agree 100% of the time. The court can make a decision that maybe the surveyor wouldn't agree with, even a prudent surveyor. But at the same time, you want to have a certain level of prudence. So you want to hire a surveyor that you feel comfortable with, that's doing at least the minimum required amount of work to offer a quality decision, a quality opinion.